Faith here, and welcome to another video, and today we are going to be reacting to the Why I Went to the Hospital video on Phil's channel. Now, I know that it's been a while. I think it's been 2 weeks. I don't know, how long has it been since Halloween? It's been, wow. Yeah, it's been more than 2 weeks. Sorry about that. Whoops. Basically, I've been really busy. And I told you last when I was going to take a break. I should have posted a video last week. I didn't. I should have posted the one I had ready. That's going to be really late. But I didn't. I'm sorry. But what I am excited to tell you is a bunch of things that have been happening in my life. First of all, I don't really know if you can notice it on camera that much, but I dyed my hair. So, it may look darker than usual, and that's because it's black. Basically, it was, like, starting to turn blonde again, and it was starting to turn, it was weird, my natural brown is at the top, and then my non-natural was just seeping through. It was crazy. Basically, if you haven't watched the channel or haven't watched previous videos from, like, a long time ago, you wouldn't know this, but I, about 3 years ago, bleached my head and dyed it purple, blue, and pink. And I didn't really understand how big of a task that was going to be to keep up. And it was a lot of money, so it was expensive to do. So I only did it one more time after that. After about 3 months of having that, it was really, like, the dye was out of my hair. I re-dyed it purple and blue, just purple and blue, so that the paint, it didn't wear out as much. And then, after that wore off, I kind of got sick of it. And my natural hair was already coming in, and I was like, you know what? It's fine. I'm just going to dye my hair back brown again, which is my natural color. Well, that's also not great, because you never know what your natural brown's going to look like. You don't match it 100%. It's a whole mess. So, basically, I've been growing it out for 3 years, and I've been trying to get all of the blonde stuff out, and it's not out yet. There's, like, this much left of blonde, and I don't want to cut my hair, because I like it long like this. It's actually really long. So, I don't want to cut that off yet. I want to wait till it gets longer, and then I'll cut it off. So, I've just been re-dyeing it brown, but I just don't like the way I look. So, I was like, hey, well, let's see if black decides to hold. Because usually the brown only lasts like 3 months, and then you can see the blonde again, and it doesn't look good. It's bad. But black seems to look really good, and I like how dark colors accent my face and my, like, skin complexion and stuff. So, it looks really good. You can't really completely tell in this lighting. I bet you wouldn't have known if I wouldn't have said it something. But in the light, like outside and in like normal lighting, it does look really good. I'm really happy with it. So that's the thing that happened within these last 2 weeks. And also, I may be very busy starting in like, I don't know, a week? I don't know. Basically, if you don't know, I am turning 17 soon. And I am in high school. So I am going to get my license soon. I actually am going to get my license hopefully at the end of this month, which means I need a job. So I've been applying to a bunch of different jobs around me, and I got an interview today. So I'm going to have an interview tomorrow to see if I get the job, and if I do, I'm going to have a lot less time on my hands. So if I don't post as much, that's probably why. I will be sure to update you on that next time, if I remember. Hopefully I do. I bet I will. I'll update you that on next time, but as of now, I'm hoping to get a job. So, that's a thing. Of course, we had the iconic fan wedding incident. Okay, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, they did a live stream on YouNow, and Phil was reading out, was it Top Fan? No, it wasn't Top Fans. It was, Phil was reading out people in the chat, right? And like he normally does to shout out people or whatever. And he read fan wedding, the username, without blinking an eye. Like, he just read fan wedding out loud. And Dan was in the live stream, too. And Dan kind of looks like, what? And then he thinks about it for a second. And, like, they kind of process it in their head. Phil had no clue. And Dan goes, did you just read fan wedding? And Phil goes, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize. And all of us fangirls, our demons came out a bit. And we started internally screaming. I know, I was at school when it happened. I was in piano class, because that's where I usually watch the live shows, because that's when they are. So I was literally, it was sat out on the piano, and I was like playing my song or whatever, trying to practice when listening to the live show, and I hear it, and I go, ah! And I just like slam on all the piano keys. luckily it's a soundproof room because people would have thought I died. It was funny. The crazy of just Phil passing out, and we have no clue what happened. All we know is what we've speculated and what they've told us. Basically, all of a sudden, Phil tweeted about being in the hospital and how he's okay or whatever, and that he'd fainted, and he said, put a photo there. Then they posted a few stories in the hospital, and Dan, like, posted a tweet and replied to Phil. It was crazy. Basically, all of us were freaking out because we're like, what happened to our small bean? And basically, what we know is that Phil fainted, and in this video, the why I went to hospital, he is going to explain all of that. And if you have not seen the Instagram fandom, oh my gosh, it has been crazy because we have been spreading around, not spreading, but like, just all of us have been speculating that since Phil fainted and he went to the hospital, basically Dan has been with him the whole time, which is freaking adorable, okay? I don't care if you ship fan or not, but that is adorable. Like, that's just goals, okay? And it's just really cute that a best friend would stay and help him all that time. Or, you know, most people suspect not a best friend, but I'm not going to go out to that way because, I mean, I don't know. We don't know, but, you know, speculations, fan theories, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, basically, Dan would have had to find Phil, is what we're guessing, or Phil called, we don't know. So I'm hoping this video explains what happened because I think it would be really cute to figure it out because we think that, as of now, Dan found Phil and, like, got, you know, called the police and got scared and, you know, then they went to hospital, but that's all we know. So basically, we've been waiting for this for a while now, and it's finally out, and we can finally watch it, and we can finally find out together. So, let's do that, shall we?
Hey guys, whoa Phil, dramatic title alert. Yeah, well it is a dramatic title, but it's true. It's not clickbait. I did go to Le Hospital, or whatever French people call hospitals. But, spoiler alert, I'm fine, I'm not dying, everything's okay, just in case you were worried. Thanks if you were worried about me. Well,
we love you,
But I
Phil.
just thought I'd tell you now, in case you were like, oh, is it okay? Unless I did die and I just haven't figured out I'm a ghost yet. Oh my god! So I thought I'd have a little
I love those edits from him.
disturbing health incident story time. So to tell you this story, I think we need a bit of context, so I'd like to take you back to the caveman times to show that I'm not a very resilient person. I'm someone that's got terrible eyesight, so as a cave person, I wouldn't be able to tell the saber-toothed tiger from the rabbit that I needed to catch. Also, I'm really clumsy, so I'd probably fall over myself into the fire that I've just discovered, because I like to think that I was the cave person that discovered fire. And also, as you know, I get really queasy and travel sick, so I couldn't ride on the back of my woolly mammoth. But another thing, which I don't really talk about much, is I get headaches all the time. Like, 3 times a week, I'll have a headache. And I went to my northern doctor when I was a kid, and he just went, I don't know, Billy, some people just get headaches. So ever since then, I take some ibuprofen, it goes away. And I figured, if it was something serious, I'd probably be dead by now, because it's been so long.
Don't say that!
So, headline, get headaches, I'm not very resilient, don't usually worry about it. Rewind to last week. Pause for dramatic effect. So around the start of last week, I was feeling pretty crappy for about 3 days. I wasn't sure what was wrong with me. I was hot and cold, I was shivering. Dan was like, why are you turning the heating up? And I'm sat there under 14 blankets like, I'm freezing. Along with this hot and coldness, I also had a headache, but it was different to the headaches that I'm used to getting. It was like a clamping feeling. That's all I can describe it as, like a clamping on the front and the back of my head. Like an alligator chomped onto my head and wasn't letting go. It was getting progressively worse throughout the day. Along with this shivering, I thought, maybe I'm getting the flu. Maybe something's off with me. I don't know. But as I'm used to getting headaches, I just took some ibuprofen and went to bed. Anyway, I had one of the weirdest night's sleep ever because I was aware of this headache in my dreams. So I was having a dream like I was hanging out with Chris Hemsworth and adopting a corgi, but in my dream Phil still had this pressurizing, pounding headache. So even in my dreams, I was like, something's wrong. Something is wrong with my head. I don't know what's happening. And then after about 4 hours of crazy half awake, half sleepness, I thought, I have to get up. I have to do something about this. So it's about 5 a.m. and I got out of bed, went upstairs in my emoji pajamas, kind of schlumped up the stairs in a sleepy daze, on the lookout for some ibuprofen. And then going up the stairs, this headache was getting even worse. It was like every stair was like boom, boom. And then I walked into the bathroom upstairs, which is where we keep the tablets. And then that was the moment I was like, something's not right. Something is not right with me right now. So I looked in the mirror and then I looked down into the pillbox and my vision just went so weird. I can't really explain it, so I'm going to try and do it in Final Cut to show you, but it kind of looked like this. It was like double vision with a little bit of black and white flashes, and then all of a sudden it was like everything just went boom, and then I was on the floor. I don't recall falling on the floor, I don't recall fainting. It was like I fully had a time jump and I'm now on the floor, and I was then freaking out, just thinking, what's happening to me? Am I dying? Is this the end? I don't know. But I recently watched a video by PJ about his health, and he was saying it too, that he is the main character in his story, so your brain has this weird negative thing where it's like, this doesn't happen to me. This isn't how my day's meant to go. So I just thought, no, it's fine, I'm okay. I tried to stand up, which was a really big mistake, because then, again, boom, fully blacked out. And this time when I opened my eyes, I was lying flat on my back. I know I'd banged my knee, because that was really hurting, and my head was still throbbing. And at that point, a few thoughts went through my head. First of all, I thought, am I really going to die in the worst room in the house? Because that room, I hate that room. And I was like, then I thought, if I'm a ghost,
of course that's what Phil would think about.
This room, and is my ghost going to have emoji pajamas? Those were the three things I thought. I wasn't like, I need to get an ambulance. I was like, I've resigned myself to death, and I'm scared my ghost is going to be wearing these emoji pajamas.
You can see my face.
I'm
sad about this.
I realise Dan is in the house, and I can call for Dan. So I'm just lying on the floor, just going, Dan, Dan, Dan! And I think he's a really heavy sleeper, so after about the 10th Dan, I hear a, what? And because I'm still confused, I can't think of the word for fainting, so I just said, I fell over! And then I hear him go, what the? Dan comes up the stairs in his underwear, holding a pillow like this. I don't know if he was gripping the pillow because he thought there was a home invader and this was his weapon. He didn't have it under my head, he was just holding it. I explained what happened and he was freaking out a bit now, and he was like, should I call an ambulance? What should we do? But the only thing I knew I wanted as like a moment of 100% clarity was toast. I just wanted some toast. I was like, I'm okay, I'm starting to feel better. Just make me some toast and I'll be fine. And then I make my way over to the sofa, eat some toast, and I start to feel a bit better now. So the thing I should have done as a responsible human is gone to the hospital straight away, but I was so tired, it was 5 in the morning, I'd had the toast and I was feeling so much better, I thought, you know what, I more than anything just want to go to sleep now. So, kind of a bad idea, went to sleep, and the next day I still had this terrible headache when I woke up, so I thought, this is bad, this is what is wrong with me. So, I went and took myself to the hospital. And the doctor is also legitimately worried about me because it's not something that should happen to someone my age. You shouldn't just be fainting. Like, what if I was in the middle of the road? This is bad. So the first thing I had to have is loads of blood tests, and the nurse was really
know
nice.
what that
The
feels
first question
like.
she asked me was, do you like needles?
Alexa,
you would say yes to
stop.
that question. Like, yeah, I love me some needles. Just
oh
get
yeah.
it in me.
Oh my gosh,
More
I have a.
needles, the better.
Oh,
So
you don't even
I
get me
said
started
no,
with
so
needles.
I'm not too bad with needles, but I just can't look at it. I can't look at it happening. So I looked
I
away
hate
and watched
needles.
vampire in
I
my
have
arm and
fear
they
of
took my
needles.
blood away for testing. And the doctor called me back and said, look, it's up to you, but I think we need to give you a CAT scan to have a look at your brain, or a CT scan. It didn't look like a giant cat, that's all I know. That's
Donut! I've been in one of those. I've had so many tests done.
I had a no-brainer, because I was like, maybe I'll get superpowers. But no, it was a serious decision.
Of course.
But I thought, you know what, I did collapse. That's weird. I'll go along and have the CAT scan. Which is a bit scary, because it's like in the movies. You've got to lie on this board, and then there's
It's not scary,
machines
it's
whirring
fine.
around your head.
You didn't even have an MRI.
It's
MRI
very
suck.
scary, because you don't know what they're going to say.
People who
It's
know
all those
that,
things
you
see
know
in
what
a
an MRI
movie
is
where
like.
they tell the person, hey, you're dying. So I was really worried. So the doctor came out of the waiting room and said, Philip, we need to discuss your CT scan results. Will you follow me? And I was like, that means I'm dying. She wouldn't say, follow me, go into a private room, unless something's wrong. So we walk this like long corridor and I'm like shaking, I'm worried. Get into the room, shut the door. She says, right, everything's fine. You should start with everything's fine. Tell me everything's fine before you say hello.
That's true. Doctors don't do that. They wait to be in private.
Oh, that was, I mean,
it's terrifying.
She's just doing a job and she
Terrifying.
got to talk to a million people, but I mean, so everything was fine. There was no weird things in my brain, but she said, that's not the end of the story because we still don't know why you collapsed. And there might be things you can't see on a CT scan that we need to see on an MRI scan, which is like the evolved Pokemon.
Yes,
of the CT
MRI.
scan.
Literally, I was
So
talking
have
about
to get
that.
admitted to hospital, and it could take up to 3 days before I can leave. I don't want to be in the hospital for 3 days. I started to feel better now. I didn't want to be there. I didn't like it. I wanted to go home. So Dan came to see me a few hours later. He brought a care package of some snacks and my Switch, so I wasn't too bored. But then about 10 o'clock at night, the head doctor, brain doctor, Proctor, came to see me, and he was like, "Why are you here? You look so well. You look like a well human." I was like, "I know, right? Just let me go home, doc." He was like, "Okay, I'm going to let you go home if you pass the 2 tests. One involves peeing in a cup, and one involves walking in a straight line." Thankfully not at the same time. So I did that. The walking in a straight line, I had to walk like this, and then tap my nose as I was walking. I think he's just trolling me. Like, what medical thing is that proving? Anyway,
it actually
he
is
said
a
I
test.
seemed well enough to go home, which was such a relief because I didn't want to spend 4 days in a hospital. Went home, didn't die in the night, bonus. And then I got a phone call that my MRI was ready to happen. So I'd only ever seen MRI scans in movies. They had to inject dye into my blood, which was then
Exactly.
like,
Yep.
in my
Plasma,
brain
or what is it
looking
called?
at it. So
Contrast.
that freaked me out.
Contrast.
As well.
That's
Before
what it's
I
called.
went in the machine, they asked if I wanted some music. So they put some headphones.
Yes! Oh my gosh, I was literally going to talk about this after the video. They literally play music in headphones for 3 hours.
Relaxing. So I was expecting like Enya or something. I get in the machine and this heavy rap starts playing. And it's so angry.
Like, rah! Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh, I relate so much.
The entire hour, I was just listening to angry rap music as they were zapping my brain with these lawnmower noises as well. The hardest thing was I was told to stay completely still.
Oh my gosh.
Still for more than 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh, Phil, I
for
completely
Phil Lester.
understand.
So that was the hardest thing. And I was lying there, and all of a sudden I got such an itch on my nose, and there was nothing I could do about it. So I was just like,
oh.
God,
I relate more to this video than any other video in my life.
I could squeeze if I was scared, and I squeezed it. She was like, "Is everything okay?" I was like, "I just really need to itch my nose. Please, can you, please, can you let me itch my nose?" So thankfully, they let me get in and have a good scratch, because otherwise I think I would have just like ripped my entire face off. MRI was done. I had to wait another agonizing 24 hours before I found out if there was anything wrong with my brain. Went to see the doctor, and this was the coolest thing. I got to look through my brain with the doctor, and I thought we could have a look at my brain together. It's like a tour of my brain. Real brain edition.
Real brain edition.
So I'm quite excited. Spooky, scary Fillington. That is so weird. Look at my teeth. You can see my wisdom tooth that's not come through yet. Then my spine is there, which is good. Never seen that before. Alright, here we go. We're slowly moving up my head. What? Oh, look at my eyes. That is horrifying.
That's
that looks like something from
so terrifying.
Ooh, so squishy. It looks like... This sounds stupid. It looks more like a brain than I thought it would. It's crazy that that is just the machine that controls me. Like, that is me, and everything else is just like a flesh robot. I've got such pursed lips. Was I trying to look sexy the whole time in the scanner? I'm like... Is it weird that I can kind of recognize myself in that, or am I being stupid? It kind of looks like it says something like... Mirror new. Is this a sign from God? I mean, that is a sexy brain there. Look at that. Such perfect edges. So squishy and delicious. And then
I'm concerned for you, Phil.
It's my brain, and you can see all of the blood vessels and where they're moving. Crazy that that is happening inside my head right now. What am I? What is a human? This is insane. So that was the tour of my brain. Hope you had a nice time. The doctor then said, "Look, there's nothing wrong with your brain. You actually have a healthier brain than most people, so good news." But then there's the question of what is wrong with me? Why did it happen? So the doctor told me that what I had was a vasovagal attack, which I think is the doctory way of saying, basically, you fainted. But we came to this conclusion because I explained to him about 10 years ago, a similar thing happened. I had terrible tonsillitis, and then I collapsed. And then I went to hospital, they didn't know why it happened. What he says happens with my body is if it gets really stressed about something, like those fainting goats, you know.
Oh my gosh, she's a fainting goat!
Yeah, my body, if it gets really stressed about something, for this one was the horrible headache, just decides, nope, I'm not working anymore, Phil, and shuts down. And that's it, your blood pressure drops, your heart rate drops, and for a second, you just don't function. He said if I'm feeling fine now, it's probably not going to happen again. I just need to look after myself a bit more. He said if I am feeling really run down, I should stay in bed, and I should take it easy, and I shouldn't overwork myself, which is something that I do a lot. I burn the candle at both ends.
We
which is
both
probably some
know
good
that
advice.
he does that.
chill
We all
more.
know that he does
I
that.
shouldn't work until 3 in the morning, and I should just let my body
Self-care,
chill out
Phil.
sometimes.
Self-care.
That was what happened. If you are a doctor and looked at my MRI scan, you might know that I had some wateriness in my sinuses. So we thought that might have been what caused the attack, is that I had some sinus infection. and my body was freaking out about that, which is why I was shivering and stuff. So I had some antibiotics, which could have had a side effect of hyperactivity, but they just made me really sleepy and queasy. So that's why this video took so long to make. But yeah, I'm fine now. I might faint at any time, but my brain isn't going to kill me, so good news. And I hope you are in good health. If you do feel weird and you have the facilities, because I know not everyone does, you should see someone about it. Because like I said and like PJ said, even though you are the main character in your story, things can go wrong with you, because they can go wrong with anyone at any time. And it's just, if you think there's something wrong, you should get it checked out. If you enjoyed delving around in my pink squishy head, please give me a thumbs up.
Pink squishy
you can also subscribe, see when I make my next video. If you're still craving a bit of Halloween, go watch me and Dan carve some pumpkins. But I hope you're well. I hope you don't faint.
That was a good video.
Have a lovely day from me and my brain. Goodbye.
Oh, that was so sweet. Okay, so I have a lot to talk about from this video. I have not related to a video more. And if you didn't know, I have Crohn's disease, which is an inflammatory bowel disease. And it is basically, there's a thing called ulcerative colitis, and then there's Crohn's disease. And, like, ulcerative colitis is just in your, like, colon, I think? Or in small intestine. I don't know. I don't have that one. And then Crohn's disease is pretty much anywhere from your butt up to your mouth. So it's like, can be in like your esophagus, which is where I have it, your small intestine, large intestine, and I have it in my colon. So I have my colon and my esophagus, which means that I am classified as Crohn's disease. And basically there's tissue too much there, and it gets inflamed, and it causes a whole load of trouble with your body, and it just throws everything off kilter, and you have to have a lot of medication and everything to control it, and it's not curable as of now. So I've learned to live with it. It's been almost 2 years since I've been diagnosed with it, so I've learned to live with it, and I've learned how to control it, but it can be scary when you're first diagnosed with something like that. And, you know, when I went into hospital, I didn't think that something like that was going to be wrong with me, you know? So I wanted to tell you a little bit about my story and about how I got diagnosed and how scary it was and the hospital experience, because this is a hospital video. Basically, I had a whole video talking about this and talking about my Crohn's and talking about like what happened and what the doctor said and everything, but I don't feel comfortable posting that because at the time I wasn't mentally okay. I wasn't mentally correct. A lot of things were going on in my head. A lot of things were taken out of context, I guess. I don't know. Maybe not. I was just really emotional. It's very personal stuff. And the video is just, I'm going to keep it for myself, but I just think that I'm a better mindset right now to tell it in like a similar, narrowed down version than I was back then, because I was in a lot of stress and it was the worst year of my life, basically. So, flashback to the end of the school year in 2017. Basically, this was, March to April of 2017, and I just randomly was getting these very, very painful attacks and like around my kidney area, like that would be where it was located. Sharp attacks where I couldn't really walk. And it was random. And for the first month, it was just, you know, it was centralized and they didn't last for very long. So I'm like, okay, it's fine. I must be just having some weird thing happen to me. And then one day I was sitting in class, freshman year, and it wouldn't stop and it just kept getting worse. And I didn't know what to do. So I was just like, I think I have to go home. So I went and I told my teacher, I'm like, I need to go to the nurse, I need to go home. And she's like, okay, you can go. And so I did, went to the nurse. The nurse basically said that it was relatively around my kidneys and around a lot of my organs and stuff, and she said it was best for me to go home, go to the hospital, and get it solved. So I was scared. So I didn't know what was happening with me, and it wasn't stopping. So basically, my mom picked me up, we were both worried, and it stopped eventually, but it had lasted for the whole day, and it was the longest it had ever lasted before. So then I went into a bunch of different doctors. I went from doctor to doctor to doctor. I went to my doctor. I went to surgeons who told me that I had to get my appendix out. even though I didn't need my appendix out. And that scared me because I'm like, what is the surgeon talking about? If he says it's not messed up, why do I need to take it out? I didn't trust anyone. I didn't trust any doctors. I didn't trust anything. No one could tell me what was wrong with me. Basically, everyone said that all the tests I'd done, I did so many tests. I did blood test after urine test after just everything. I did ultrasounds. I did CAT scans, everything. And I was over it. It was too much. And I was like, I want to know what's wrong with me so I can start to figure it out and start to, process it. Because it was harder, I think, not knowing what it was than it was knowing. Because, yeah, it was stressful and it was scary finding out that I had this disease. But not knowing was the worst part because I couldn't do anything. I couldn't take any medicine. I couldn't see any specialized doctor. We didn't know. Then, out of fate, we found my gastroenterologist. And she finally told us what was going on, and she finally did the correct tests to figure out what was happening to me. And basically, what happened was I went in, I told her my symptoms, I told her everything, and she said, so here's the deal. I have a very strong inkling that you have Crohn's disease, or ulcerative colitis, but I cannot tell you for sure until I get a colonoscopy and endoscopy. And if you don't know what that is, it's like where they stick a camera down your throat and stick a camera up your butt, and they have to search through there and, pretty much find out if you have this thing or not. And so she couldn't give me any medication. And this isn't her fault, but this is why I have such a problem with the way some of the medical stuff works, is because they could not get me an appointment for a colonoscopy and endoscopy, which I very much severely needed, for 3 months. Keep in mind, school had just come to an end, so that meant I was going to have severe pain for the next 3 months, my entire summer vacation. So, this was the year of 2017, and here I am with absolutely no way of helping my pain. It was getting 1,000 times worse. I was in so much agony sometimes. I would be screaming, and I couldn't help it. My parents couldn't do anything, and it just caused my whole household to be so stressed out, and everything was just a wreck. It was not good. So after these 3 months of hell passed, of literally I didn't eat anything. The only thing I ate was chicken Kievs and rice for that entire 3 months. That was the only thing my stomach could keep down. It was the only thing that wouldn't make me scream in agony. It was the only thing I could eat and keep down. That was it. And I didn't have 1 ounce of sugar. I didn't have anything those the last 3 months. And I lost over 50 pounds. 50 pounds is a lot of weight. And it's a lot of weight to lose very fast. So if you like think about that in your head, it was a lot for me in 3 months. So I go to get this colonoscopy and endoscopy done. Basically what I'm thinking is, oh, I get to go in here. She's going to tell me that, oh yeah, you have Crohn's disease. And then I'm going to be able to go home that night. And I'm going to be able to, just go out to Minor Done and eat food. Because before a colonoscopy, you cannot eat or drink for 24 hours. And it's hell. Because you're so hungry, and it's just terrible. You're just so hungry, and you have to drink this terrible, terrible laxative stuff. And you have to mix it in a drink, so I mixed it in blue Gatorade. You have to drink, those, big things of Gatorade? You have to drink 3 of those in, not even a 5-hour period. You have to drink 3 of those filled with the stuff, and to this day, I cannot drink blue Gatorade. I cannot taste it without freaking me out. So that's how bad it was. It was not great. But after the colonoscopy, I thought it was all going to be over. I thought everything was going to be okay again. I thought I was going to be totally fine. They could do something, give me medicine. That was not the case. So I went in expecting to come out of it after anesthesia, wake up, and be able to head home after a few hours of being watched over and yada, yada, yada. Well, apparently it was a lot worse than they thought. Apparently I've had it for a long time, and I've had something called Malchus and Rosenthal syndrome all my life since I was 2. And that is actually a precursor or a symptom to Crohn's disease, which we didn't know and no one ever told us. So that's also another reason that I kind of am, my head is kind of messed up about the medical stuff, because why wouldn't a doctor tell me that? And it's this whole time I was so confused with everything because I did not know that this was even a thing. I didn't know that what I was going through wasn't supposed to happen. Like, I didn't know that going to the bathroom and your stomach, like, was not supposed to feel pain. I didn't know that you weren't supposed to feel pain all the time. That's just what I'd lived with since I was, as long as I could remember. So having this all of a sudden fall down on top of me, being like, this is severe. Basically, my mom told me they have to keep you in the hospital for a long, like, they have to keep you in the hospital for at least overnight, if not longer. I'm like, what? Basically, it was a lot worse than I thought, and they needed to get medication into me as soon as possible. So they had to put the medication in through an IV, and it was, I still actually have a scar from that IV right here. They had to put the medication straight into my system so that I could get working as fast as possible, and they had to do other tests. So that is what I was talking about when I said the MRI. The joyous MRI. Basically, the MRI was a terrible, terrible, terrible situation. So in the MRI, it's basically a hospital room, except downstairs, and it's smaller, and it's in, like, right next to the MRI machines. And they give you, again, I hadn't eaten yet, by the way. So I thought I was going to be able to go out and eat sweet, mine are done, or, like, just burger, and, yes. That was not the case. I, myself, had to drink all of this contrast before the MRI. The MRI didn't happen until the day afterwards, and I wasn't able to eat anything. So I was now, at this point, without food for 48 hours. The only thing I would be able to eat was, like, a little bit of Jell-O and water. And that's it. And so basically, I had been foodless for 48 hours, and that drives your mind insane. It, like, wants food, and it's, like, all it can think about. It's all your stomach can think about, and I was going insane. But after this MRI, they told me that I could probably have food. So I was just hoping and praying this MRI was going to be done as fast as possible. So I get down to the MRI room, and they hand me these 2 bottles of pure liquid chalk. I am telling you, this stuff, it's called contrast. It tastes literally like chalk. It tastes like you're downing chalk with water in it. It's not good at all. It's drinking chalk. Like, can you imagine that? It's, oh my gosh, I can't even explain to you how disgusting it tastes. And I had to drink, like, 2 big things of it within, like, an hour. So I had to drink one of these whole things within 30 minutes. It was really bad. And apparently I didn't even drink enough, because we'll get to that in a second. So after what seemed like forever, I went down to the MRI machine. And in this MRI, for mine, it was like 2 hours long. So I had to sit and lay completely still in this MRI machine for 2 hours. So I had to sit completely still for 2 hours. And yeah, I had headphones on, but the music, first of all, it's crap music. Second of all, it's not loud enough because the machine is so agonizingly loud that it gives you a headache. And you can't hear the music, really. It's just, like, barely there. So, and you're going insane looking at the ceiling, being like, why am I here? Why am I here? I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I'm food. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. You're going insane as you're looking at the ceiling and this machine that is scanning you with radiation for literally 2 hours. And it was really bad. I couldn't move a single muscle. And I had so many itches. Like, I can't believe they let him stop the MRI machine. For me, I had itches on my legs, on my fingers, on my whole face, because once I thought of one itch, more itches started to come, and my entire body was itching by the time I was done. So, and in the middle of it, of course, something happened, because I'm just that lucky. They had to take me out and put more contrast through my IV, like, in order to get the contrast enough, because apparently I didn't drink enough, and the contrast going in hurts. Like, it hurts a lot. It burns. So it was great. Great situation. MRIs suck. That's what I've came to the conclusion. And blood tests suck. Remicade infusions suck. You can look all this stuff up. I'm not going to get into it. Basically, Remicade is a, like, low-dose chemotherapy treatment. It's like, it's an injection thingy. An infusion is where you have to go, like, every 8 weeks or every 4 weeks to get an IV in, and then they put this stuff, like, chemicals in your body that help you or whatever. La 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 la. It's hell, and basically I have to go through it now. But I'm in a place where I can control it, and I'm in control, and it makes me feel good because I know what's happening, I can plan for it, and it's not unexpected, and I'm in a whole lot better place than I was about 1.5 years ago. A year and a half ago, I would have told you that I wanted to die. I would have told you that I wish I wasn't living. I would have told you that I was in the worst state of my entire life, and that will probably forever be the worst year of my entire life. At least I hope so, because I love to not have to go through another year like that, but I never know. I didn't think that year was going to happen, so you never know. You can't plan for stuff like that, but I hope to God that that is the worst year of my life, and it stays that way, because I'm actually feeling good about myself, and I'm getting a job soon, and I feel like I'm actually, like, growing up, and I'm getting, you know, to be older now, and I'm going to be able to have a life, and eventually kids. Like, I'm just really, really excited about the future, and now I feel more in control of myself, and I just feel good. So don't worry about me. I'm all good. If you ever have questions, feel free to ask, or I guess if you have questions now, because I don't know how this is going to edit together. I messed up so many things and everything, so just comment down below. And if you ever have any questions about anything, I'm open. Honestly, I am literally an open book. So I feel free. And I am going to go now because I feel like I have kept you here for way too long. I just relate to this video a lot, and it's something that I really wanted to talk about with you guys, but I just didn't want to put it in its own separate video because I don't want to milk it, and it's not something that I want, like, everyone to feel bad for me about. It's just something that I got dealt, and I have to deal with it. So I'm dealing with that, and if you're wondering, I'm fine. I'm not in a lot of pain anymore. It's getting better, but it will never go away, and I will have to deal with it my entire life. But that is for me to figure out, so I will not mess with you guys and put you guys into that. I love you all. Thank you so much for listening. If you kept through all the way to this point, you are honestly, I love you guys. Like, the people who are watching this now, who have been through this whole video and watched this whole thing and listened just to me ramble about my own life, you're incredible, and I can't believe that there are people like you out there, because that's just amazing to me and incredible, and I hope you have the best life, and thank you. So I'm gonna go now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye! Hey guys, this is me at the end of the video, just inserting a little clip. You may not know, but this is not me from the past that I recorded that video. That was yesterday. And like I said, I had an interview today. And I decided that I was going to insert this little clip because in the video I said that I didn't know when I was going to be getting a job. I'd been applying. Well, I got a job, so the interview went really well. They ended up giving me a job on the spot. And I start on Tuesday, so it's really quick, really fast, and honestly, stress level is to a peak right now. I'm really grateful that I got this job, and I'm really grateful that I'm starting to become a member of society, but at the same time, it's terrifying. I'm almost 17 now, and I am getting a car, and I need to pay car insurance, and all this, like, taxes, and all this other stuff, and I'm just not ready for that. So, basically, I'm gonna be really stuck on time. I have no idea what the next couple of months is going to bring for me. It's going to be new, it's going to be stressful, it's going to be confusing. So I just wanted to let you guys know that this is this is a love of mine. It's a hobby though. And a hobby I may have to kind of degrade a little bit as of now, just so that I can get my bearings at my new job and just make sure that I'm doing the best that I can in school. And so this may not be my top priority at the moment. I want to continue doing stuff, and obviously Pin-Off will be up. Don't worry about that. Pin-Off will be reacted to. Pin-Off will be uploaded. Don't you dare worry, okay? Big stuff like that, don't worry about. They will be updated, and I will try and, like, create videos and stuff, but all this, like, big projects that I was thinking about doing may have to kind of go for now until maybe summer or beginning of the year after I get settled into my new job. right now it's too stressful for me to worry about anything else, and I don't want to add on to my stress level because stress really messes up my Crohn's, so it would not be a good idea for me to do that right now. So I just wanted to let you guys know, just in case there goes a month or whatever and that I don't upload. I'm not dead. I just am busy, like, with the life that I didn't expect to happen this year. So everything is new to me, and I just wanted to let you guys know, and thank you. So thank you so much for watching, and again, because this is past Kiera, talked about that before. But if you have any questions or whatever, comment down below. I would tell you where I'm working, but I don't know if that's even, like, legal, and I don't want to worry about that stuff, so it's a fast food restaurant, I can tell you that. It's not great. It's a first, it's a first job, so it's not, I'm getting paid all this money. It's just a first job that I can pay my everything and just have a little bit of money to myself and all this other stuff, and it's really stressful, as you can tell. So it just happened today. I just got hired today, so yeah, I'm stressed. Just wanted to let you guys know before I headed out, and who knows when I'm going to post next. I still have that video from a long time ago that I can post, so I'll hopefully do that soon, probably within, like, the next week, and then, like, next week or the week after, and then Pin-Off will be the next one, hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. Who knows what the future will bring us. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!